Oh, yes! He's number 355. He's number 71, PFHOF, number 71 in your program, number 1 in your heart. He's Don Anthony Boselli Jr.
All those things and more.
And much more. Much more. And he joins us now here on the program, and he's back from Atlanta. I've got reports that boys had to land in that pouring rain, walk through the rain, get on the bus. Big Tone was not happy because it was freezing on the bus. I mean, just a tough travel day.
Come home with a head cold.
On Friday, Tone.
Oh, it was.
That's a big head. If you get a head cold, that's like a storm front, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pouring rain. We get off the plane.
Yeah.
There's nothing anyone can do about that.
No.
That's just part of life. That's part of living in Florida. Get those big storms.
Yeah.
Pilot did a great job getting us down safely. Very nicely done.
Any landing's a good landing, Tone.
Yep. But then you get on the bus, and the bus driver decided to put it down around 58 degrees with the air conditioning pumping and walking in that baby cold and wet.
Yeah, that's
might have caused some problems.
That stings.
Now, Tone, I was.
It was so cold. I thought Frank was going to die. Frank started having hypothermia, started shaking.
Did you have to hug him? Did you hug him?
I told him,
save his life?
Started shaking.
Take all your clothes off. Get clothes.
That's right. You're hyperthermic. You're supposed to strip down. Hick.
For those who haven't seen it, Tony was like the bear in The Covenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
yeah. Just come on, body heat. Let's go.
Tony, what about
Tony, I want to do it, but I was concerned about old Frank's life.
That sounds bad and all, but I still think that I probably lived through Tony's worst weather experience ever. We did that together.
Oh, the hail?
Yeah, Whistling Straits. That was death-defying what we did. And you want to talk about a bear. When you saw Tony Boselli give it to that pro shop guy, that poor kid, Hick, oh, my God, I thought he was just going to die right there on the spot. Oh, Tony's dripping wet. He's pelted with hail. He's got that big, crooked offensive line finger.
Oh,
because they left us out there, Tony. That was on them now. Tony wasn't being wrong. They screwed us. They left us out there.
Killed us.
They did. They tried to kill the Hall of Famer.
This is not a hyper.
No, right, for real. Yeah.
Jeff and I wouldn't be doing the show almost. I mean,
wow. It was bad.
It was bad. It was
like we like dodged
our
up.
lives in a golf cart that almost killed Jeff Prosser, who got thrown into the woods.
I did.
Out of the back of the golf cart.
That stuff, it was hailing so hard, Hick, and the wind was blowing so hard that literally when it hit you, it was like you were getting shot with a pellet gun.
Oh, people were screaming.
Man down. All right, anyway. Enough. We digress. Look.
It was dangerous.
As far as preseasons go, Tony, I mean, look, it's all measured with this, that, or the other, who they're playing, who you're playing, what the game plan is or no game plan. But at the end of the day, you kind of want to do what you want to do, and sure seems like sitting here that the Jags pretty much spent the better part of 3 games doing what they want to do.
Yeah, I don't know about the first one.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty back and forth close. You can't tell anything from Tampa. Starters didn't play one snap. And then last week against Atlanta, the starters did what they were supposed to do. They were playing against second and third teamers, not just second teamers.
Right.
The Falcons sat 40 guys. And so the plan all along was for those guys, the first offense play a half. I'm convinced that Doug just said, enough of this. I mean, it's 14-0. What else do we need to see? We've gone up and down the field. And so I don't know how much you learn about ultimately who you are as a team, the way preseason is structured now, when you really don't get to go against guys. It's not lined up. Like, coaches aren't on the same page. Some coaches play guys, some coaches don't play anybody.
More than ever this year because, it's weird.
That's right. And so what do you really learn? Now, does that mean it's not valuable for the team? No, it's very valuable because you go out there, you get your work done, you communicate, you get confidence, you get on the same page. Those are all valuable reps. So very valuable. But I'm not sure what judgment you can make by it. I'm not sure I know anything more about who this team is from Friday night's game in Atlanta.
You had a outrageous statement during the radio broadcast, I thought. And I want to ask you about it because I want you to explain yourself. I was watching the game, and on the television side, I was at the television station.
Yes.
And I needed nourishment, Tone. I'm going to be honest. I had to get some food, and there's about 4 minutes left in the half. Things were in good hands. I think the starters were long gone. So I jumped in to listen to my favorite.
So there's no telling what I said at the end of that game.
Yeah, it's end of the first half. It's filler time a little bit, though.
First half. Okay,
it's a little discussion, and I think you're looking for something, but I mean, maybe you mean it. I don't know, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to ask you because it shook me up. I almost drove off the road.
To your core?
Okay.
And I flip on my favorite team. I want to listen to Don Anthony and Logs.
Yeah.
I want to learn. I want to learn, Tone. I'm trying to learn the X's and O's part. I want to hear some 3 tech talk. You know what I'm saying?
3 tech.
Yeah. So anyway.
TEs, ETs,
exactly.
3 tech, 5 tech.
Yes. Thank you. So you tell me something Yes. You tell me something to the effect of, and again, not verbatim here, so I'm going to allow you to explain, something to the effect that Tank Bigsby.
Yes, I knew where you were going with this. Yeah.
I knew. So that tells you something.
Is a better running back than Travis Etienne, a better overall running back? Is that what you said? I'll let you take the floor. And do you want to walk that back, or do you still mean that?
No, I'll clarify. I'm not
Thank
going to
you.
walk
Clarify.
back. Maybe I didn't explain it because we picked it back up later, I thought, in the podcast, too.
Okay.
But that's a fair question. I think Tank Bigsby is the best, best runner of the running backs. Like, he's the best pure running back as far as carrying the ball between the tackles downhill, like getting those yards you have to get. And I think he brings a dynamic they did not have last year.
Okay.
I think Travis Etienne, and I said this if you listen carefully, is the better football player.
Yes, you did say that.
Travis Etienne is the better football player. He's great in the passing game. He's dynamic. He match up issues in space. He can take it, and it can be a home run, make him this type of guy. But I think if you're running a 4-minute offense, I think Tank Bigsby's better. I think Tank Bigsby is a better, I think Tank Bigsby, when there's nothing there, will get you more than Travis Etienne. I think Tank does a great job of splitting tackles, and instead of getting 1, gets 3. I think he sees it very well. My point was not a shot at Travis. I think Travis is
I understand that.
Player. He's a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's we're better with Travis.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, you'd probably pick Travis. But Tank has a skill set that I think is better than Travis as far as probably running between the tackles, seeing it, hitting it, and making sure you're going to get the most you possibly can in tough yardage situations.
I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me at all if Tank is, you get it, in the tight red zone, that Tank comes in when you want to run it in goal line.
Okay.
And he's your short yardage back. He's your 4-minute back. I think Tank is, if he can hold on to it, I mean, the big thing about Tank is they didn't trust him to hold on to it.
Oh, sure.
But if he can hold on to it, he's a dang good running back. That was my point. It was nothing to do. It was actually very less to do with Travis and who he is as a football player. He's one of our best football players in the whole team. It was more that they need Tank. They drafted Tank for a reason. They need him to perform.
Yes.
He is super talented. And as a just pure, just running back, just line up in the eye or line up there in the single back, hand it off to him, and go get whatever you can between the tackles, and make that cut or make that guy run through that arm tackle. I think Tank could be the better back of doing that. Doesn't mean he's a better football player. I think he could be the better back.
No.
I mean, and so yeah. I mean, what I was trying to say more than anything is Tank is critical to the success of this team. Because I said it last year after about week 6. I said on this show, and I said it on the Monday night show with Pete, it is unsustainable the amount of touches that Travis Etienne is getting. Of how many touches he had in the first 6 to 8 games. It was the most in the NFL. It was unsustainable. They needed somebody else to take that load off. And what happened at the end of the year, I mean, they couldn't run it anywhere.
Right.
They really were never any good running at short yardage at all the entire year, if you look at the numbers. And so the point is, they drafted Tank to be that guy. He was not last year. He did not perform at a level. They didn't trust him. They've done everything they could this camp. It was a point of emphasis to get him going. If you look at the preseason game, too, they literally designed passing plays to him. They split him out. They did things. They got him the ball. They gave him a bunch of carries in the preseason. Why? Get him confident because he is a dang good running back.
They could certainly use an uptick in production from those year 2 guys. Bigsby, Strange, Parker Washington has had a good camp. Tony, I'm curious in your again.
Before we go further, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Saying? It does.
Yeah,
we'll agree to disagree.
I mean, it's just rhetoric.
Semantics,
I mean, it's
right.
yeah. So I mean, I know what you're saying. I just think personally, I think ETN is better in every way, shape, or form. I think he runs.
Do you think ETN's better running between the tackles?
I think he runs tough between the tackles. That was the thing that I've been most surprised about with ETN. Now, there is some discussion that sometimes if there is a hole, he misses the hole. That I don't know. That's more X's and O's type stuff. But, I mean, that O-line did not give those guys a lot of opportunities last year either.
No. Listen, ETN's a fabulous player.
Yeah.
I'm glad they gave him 5th year. I'm glad that he's here. Like, he's one of the best. Like I said, he's one of the best football players on the team.
No, I get it.
But if you're asking about between the tackles, running the ball,
okay.
I think Tank
Bigsby
has a better skill set doing that. Doesn't mean he's a better football player.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Let's talk about the commonality between either one of those running backs. That's the 5 guys in front of them, and I know that's been piecemealed, and this guy's played here, and this guy's played then. Just where do you feel about the offensive line right now, and how does that compare to maybe what you felt when last season ended or when this training camp started? Are we that much more confident? Are we wait-and-see mode? How much does Morse change everything? Just what have you seen from your area of expertise?
Mitch improves them at center, no doubt about it. What are they going to be? I'll let you give me the first 2 weeks of the season.
That's fair.
That's fair.
They played in the preseason a total of 2 drives together.
Is that it? Is that a mistake?
Is it a mistake?
Yeah.
I don't think they had any control over it. It was because guys were hurt.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't a coaching decision per se. I got you.
No, I think
they would have liked to have played more. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think they would like to give him a lot more rest. But you had Ezra Cleveland hurt with an ankle or a foot or something, lower body, whatever it was. Missed the first preseason game. Missed a good portion of camp. You had Anton Harrison with the concussion. Missed, I think, a week plus.
Doug has
missed that first preseason game. So, I mean, that's 2/5 of your line not there for a period, one preseason game and a period of the camp. You already get limited reps in camp. And then Ezra wasn't 100%. If you go watch the time against the Bucks, he wasn't 100%.
Tony Doug has some big cojones, man. I mean, he doesn't care about he put them starters out there, man. When Trevor had that dude shoot at his leg, I was like, oh, good Lord, no. I mean, that stuff is, and it's weird because, I got
cojones, Dan.
Well,
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think that's just a philosophy. It's no different than Andy Reid. Andy Reid plays Patrick Mahomes. Here's my thing. People say, what would you do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's ways teams win Super Bowls and have success doing it both ways. But if I was a coach and I saw the best coach in the NFL play the best player in the NFL during the preseason and all his starters during the preseason, I'd probably lean towards that because right now they're the favorite to win the Super Bowl the 3rd straight year.
I get that, but he didn't play. Listen, we saw Mahomes week 1. He did 1 drive. I don't think he played the 3rd game at all.
I bet you he played the 2nd game.
Yeah, he had the behind-the-back pass.
But he didn't play a lot in the 2nd game either. I'll
bet you this, Dan. I bet you Patrick Mahomes played just as many reps as Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. I wouldn't argue that. I would say, though, I'm watching rookie quarterbacks not play. Penix, Jaden Daniels. Right. I know. I agree. But let
me tell you what I disagree with 100%.
Okay. I like this. I like
not
disagreeing.
Playing rookie quarterbacks. How are they going to get better?
Yeah. You tell me.
Are you going to do it on the sideline when they're not getting in practice, when they can't get hit?
Right.
Give me a break. You have no idea if that quarterback has the cojones to sit in the pocket when things are flying around.
Big word.
Cojones is hot.
Cojones is spreading our love through Latin America.
Well, I just heard you guys use it.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Listen, at the end of the day, though, with all due respect to the question,
no, it's fine.
With all due respect to the question and one's own theories or thoughts on us, it was the right decision. Because he played his guy, he played 2 possessions, he went 8 for 10, he didn't get hurt, and now they're getting ready for. I mean, had he got hurt, I get the question, but it was absolutely.
I don't. I would be saying the same thing if something tragically would have happened.
Well, it'd be a different
I'm glad it didn't.
feeling.
Because you have to. I would be disappointed, but you have to have a philosophy. And here's my philosophy of the whole thing, of the NFL in general, is you don't get better at stuff in life. So forget about the NFL, all of life. You don't get better at stuff in life without practicing and repping it and doing it. Like, show me one thing that somehow, but not doing it, you get better. And then I'll wait and tell you the good philosophy is not to play guys because you're scared of getting hurt. If you're scared of getting hurt, don't play the dang game.
No, but Tone, if something had, God forbid, happened, it changes the entire narrative because that's all that anybody would be talking about.
What if something, God forbid, happened?
Yeah.
Opening day.
Oh, I know.
What's the difference?
Not much.
It's over.
I get it.
Nothing.
I'm just saying.
You got to play the game. You can't play scared.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He
doesn't.
Be
smart.
He doesn't.
You got to be smart.
He doesn't.
Do it right. You have to have a philosophy, and you got to go with it. And this is not saying, like, listen, other coaches have different philosophies.
Yeah.
And they don't play their guys at all. I happen to not like that or disagree with it because I don't know how they get better. But I'm sure they structure their practices. They do things to give them the reps and everything else. I know one team that does not at all play guys in the preseason. During camp, they have multiple days of full go 1-versus-1 tackle to the ground practices. So they say they'd rather control it in that situation and get their reps. Okay. Do I think that this is good? No, but I get, okay, fine. Everyone has their own philosophy. I guess my overall point is the best coach in the NFL right now plays his guys and gets them ready.
Okay.
And he plays the best player in the NFL, and he plays the best tight end in the NFL. And he plays he plays these guys who are very good, and he always has because that's his philosophy. I happen to agree with that. And that's where Doug's called coaching tree where he comes from. That's how he does it. I think that's the right decision.
Well, at the end of the day, we go into the regular season about as healthy as we've been in the last few years. So
that's good news.
Oh my gosh, I said that. Can you imagine? I mean, tell me, we got beat up early in camp at the offensive line. We talked about Ezra and Anton, and then Cam had a little peck or shoulder, whatever it was, missed a day or two. But now rolling in, the only guy that, as I think about it, that you'd be really counting on for the regular season who will not be there opening day is Dewey.
Yeah. You and Pete breaking down your 53 this afternoon?
I'll have no choice to do it because Pete is can't help himself. I don't like doing it. I don't like.
There's nothing more ridiculous than the 53 in today's NFL.
I don't. It's not my job to set guys. I mean,
the ninth lineman. Who cares?
Yeah. That's not that I care.
Yeah.
It's no different than the conversation that Dan started with talking about Bigsby versus ETN. Because the last thing I ever want to do is making a comment about a guy like Bigsby is not a shot at ETN.
Yeah, I get it. I think people understand that, by the way, Tone. Don't be.
You're getting a little sensitive. I think you're getting a little sensitive. Now that
you're
a Hall of Famer,
you're not in midseason form here, Tone. Come on, man. Toughen up.
We'll get you going.
I'm not. You
need some two-a-days. You're today's NFL is what's happened to you.
What's happened to you, Tone? You got skinny and now you're mean. I mean, you're soft.
You're skinny and nice, and just what in the hell's going on?
I'm trying to put a new nice.
He's the new masculine.
Go drink some whiskey. We'll talk to you next week.
He's the new masculine, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's the new masculine.
No!
You guys are a mess. But hey, listen. Here we go, though. Let me say this: the only problem we have now, we got 2 full weeks until this thing kicks it off.
I know.
We got a long time to go.
Well, next week
you're
gonna give me how they're gonna get to 17-0 and cap off a perfect 20-0 run before we get to the postseason.
Next week it's Labor Day, and do you guys work on Labor Day?
Oh yeah, we're off. We'll go for Tuesday. Super Tuesday. We'll see.
I didn't see that in my contract.
That's fair. That's fair. Hall of Famer. Yeah. All right, we got to run.
Okay.
We love you. See ya. There he goes. Don Anthony Boselli.